entire dish is for the American Heart Association. Promote healthy eating, healthy cooking. Herb crusted salmon. We use sautéing green beans and saffron rice. Salmon is a great fish to promote this, so it's basically what we're trying to do today. How you doing, everyone? It's Chef Ponder here. Today we're going to be preparing a herb crusted salmon with some sautéed green beans and saffron rice. This is for American Heart Association and for healthy eating, healthy choice eating. I am a personal chef. Again, my name is Chef Ponder. You can find me on Twitter at Chef Ponder, on Instagram at Chef Ponder, Facebook at Fireside Chef. The yellow rice, or the saffron rice. Saffron is a strain of ingredient that can be found in mostly India. Boil in hot water for about 15-20 minutes or so. Let it set and then fluff it with a fork and you're ready to go. For the salmon today, we're going to be seasoning it with tomato basil. Great seasoning here. And also a little bit of salmon seasoning magic. Feel free to just do plain salt and pepper, as always recommended. We're going to crust it today with panko breadcrumbs. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of melted butter. Okay, incorporate it inside the bread mixture here, and then pat it on top of the salmon. We're going to bake it at about 350. What we have here is just the panko and melted butter. You can do up to maybe 4 tablespoons of melted butter, or olive oil of your choice. I prefer melted butter because the butter tends to brown a lot more. Give it better consistency with your panko breadcrumbs. And the panko breadcrumbs is going to be going on top of the salmon. Alongside the salmon, we have some delicious hurdy-for-bear green beans. Hurdy-for-bear just being the type of green bean. We're going to do those. We're going to first saute them and then blanch them. The blanching actually brightens up the green bean itself. And then we're going to shock them in a little bit of ice water. Along with my green beans, I like to take a red bell pepper. We're going to do a couple of quick julienne strips just for garnish and to kind of liven up that green. You always want to think plate presentation. The salmon color, kind of a pinkish color. Okay, the breadcrumb top is going to be brown, and you have your green beans, you have your red peppers, and your beautiful, bright, vibrant saffron rice. So all those colors kind of come together on the plate, make it a great plate presentation. Now simply make that cut we was talking about, the julienne cut. Okay, bell pepper is so slice. It's just a slice. Doesn't have to be perfect at all, but you want it to be about the same length as your green bean. Okay, this all plays into your symmetry of your plate presentation. That's it. Okay, with the salmon here, okay, you can do it either way. Baking it, I prefer the skin off. Okay, so what I do is I take the knife, just fillet the skin directly off. Both sides of the salmon is exposed. You can eat right through it. For a garnish piece, you also can take this. You can fry it up, or you can bake it off and use it as a garnish piece on your plate as well. Nothing wrong with the skin at all. Notice when you're handling salmon is very oily. Very oily. Okay, good oil, good fat. We're going to season the salmon now. Okay, with the salmon, I'm using a magic salmon seasoning here. Works great. Tastes awesome with salmon. Okay, you can also feel free to just do salt and pepper, and that's totally fine. From this point, we're going to add the salmon in the oven at about 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. With salmon, you want to also serve the salmon medium well. Some prefer it well done. At the point you're making salmon and you see this white milky substance come out of the salmon, you're probably reaching the point where you're overcooking the salmon. So you want to go ahead and take it out at that point. Okay, we're going to go back to our breadcrumb and butter mixture here. Just going to pat that right on top of the salmon piece. Make sure you incorporate the butter and the breadcrumbs. It should be almost like a wet sand mixture. It can hold itself. And that's that butter in there. Mix it up really well. So when you put it on the salmon, it adheres to the salmon. And again, it should be like this, wet sand. You want to do this away from your cooking vessel to avoid any breadcrumb pieces that may burn while you're baking it. And the fact that your salmon is moist and oily, it helps the breadcrumbs stick to it as well. Alright, now that our salmon is side and ready to go, we're going to pop it in the oven at about 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. And we're going to revisit the salmon, take it out. While the salmon is ready to go, we'll go ahead and cook the green beans. Again, we're going to take these and put them in some hot water for about maybe 5 to 6 minutes. Take it out of hot water and drop it in a ice cold water to stop the cooking process. It's called blanching. You want to be sure that the green beans don't go too far over. Just right here. This will they yield to a nice break just like that. Okay. With a little bit of crunch and crisp to it. And it's called al dente. This means to the tooth or to the bite. Perfect. That goes off perfect. Alright, now our rice is almost done now. We're going to let it finish boiling for a couple more minutes here. I'm going to cut it off at the midway point and cover it and let it continue to cook via steam. We don't want the rice to cook too much. It gives off that mushy taste there. And if you see here with the rice, you get this real almost starchy look here, and that's what we want to go for. And we want this look to be there because once we cut off and let it finish cooking, we want to kind of mold it into shape. And we want that starch content to be there to help hold the shape. In the meantime, we'll take our skillet here, let it get a little heat to it. You always want to cook with a hot skillet, whether you're sauteing or whatever you're doing, application with a skillet. Make sure the skillet is hot and ready to go. So we're going to let the skillet heat up. I'm going to cook with a little bit of Atlanta Lakes butter or margarine. Of course, olive oil is always a better choice when we're promoting healthy cooking. But for flavor content, I would prefer butter over oil any day, unless you have a nice infused olive oil. In which case, if you buy a regular olive oil from the grocery store, you can always infuse it with fresh herbs such as rosemary or whatever herb you want to put in and let it sit for a couple of weeks. And you have the infused olive oil, so you can introduce flavor to olive oil. Right now we're going to saute in the green beans. Remember earlier we boiled them and then blanched them. The blanching process was to stop the cooking totally all together. So now we're just kind of warming them up a little bit. Did that with a little bit of butter, add a little bit of salt, kosher salt, and a little bit of cracked black pepper. Alright, so when we're plating this, when you're plating the rice, you can always feel free to use a mold or some type, or just put it on the plate, but you want to keep in mind the symmetric of the plate. Now with the rice, you're going to mold it. Maybe about a cup and a half cup of rice. Right in the center. From here, take out salmon. Then the green beans. And again, this lovely color of the green beans. Still nice and bright and green, and the red peppers incorporated in there to kind of make it pop. And to finish off the salmon, we're going to do a little bit of dry dill. And there you have it. So you have the panko crusted salmon, saffron rice, and you have sauteed green beans with red peppers.